Yeah, looks like I'm back in the basement. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson, and today, back in my basement, I'm going to be going over some good news. Why? Because there's just too much bad news out there. And as you can see, I am the media. That's what Elon Musk says anyway. So hey, let's not dilly dally, and we'll get into some good news. Okay, so this is my little plan. I've been on vacation. I'll be getting to that a little bit later. I haven't been here for yeah, back in my basement for about a month. I went down to El Salvador, so I'll be talking a bit more about that later. And but we're going to start off with some good news. This is a new twist. I had some time off, and I was thinking about what do I want to do with my channel here. I've been flopping around doing whatever in my basement here for I don't know a couple of years. So let's get a little bit more media. Okay, so this is one thing that nobody wants to see. They always like to click on bad news and stuff like that. So I figured what I would do is from now on we're going to start off with something which is good news. Because you just don't see that anymore. You don't hear it in the radio. You don't watch it on TV. Oh, there's war. Ooh, there's this. Oh, this politician said that. Oh, this is the whole world's falling apart. And then you look out the window and it's like, nah, birds are. We got our Arctic juncos are back for the winter here, and squirrels are still hopping around in the backyard. What do you mean there's something wrong? So I figured I'd find some good news, and that's actually kind of hard to find too. And so this good news comes from Henderson, Kentucky, and it was in the online version of The Gleaner. So that's the name of the newspaper in Henderson, Kentucky. Why did I pick Henderson, Kentucky? Because I thought, well, I brought up a map and I said, Kentucky. So, and then I just saw, okay, Lexington, I've heard of that. Where's some little town? Oh, Henderson, never heard of that. Oh, hey, Shecky, welcome back. Good to have you. Good to be here. So, so I looked at Henderson, Kentucky, The Gleaner. So it's funny, these little newspapers in little towns, they have like all these obituaries and sports teams. That's sort of good news. And then what else? I don't know, because I kind of like small town news. It's kind of interesting. So in Henderson, Kentucky, if you live there or you're driving through, good news for you. So I printed it out here in Henderson, Kentucky from The Gleaner. That's the name of it. I guess you glean your knowledge from The Gleaner in Henderson, Kentucky. So drivers should prepare for new roundabouts at 2nd Street to fully open in Henderson as soon as this weekend. There we go. We're getting some roundabouts. The plan is for the traffic changes to start Saturday morning, and along with that, the interchange at Kentucky 2804 will be permanently closing. The roundabouts at 2nd Street have been open to single-lane traffic and now will be open to 2 lanes. So Henderson, Kentucky, good news. You guys are going to be getting to work a little faster, or getting home from work faster. While the roundabouts will be open, crews with the Interstate 69 Ohio River Crossing Project will continue work in the area until about the midpoint of 2025. This will include adding permanent striping, landscaping, flagpoles, lighting, and gateway signs for the city of Henderson. The three-section overall I-69 Ohio River Crossing Project is intended to provide interstate cross-river connectivity to ease traffic congestion while boosting safety for motorists. Good news for Henderson. All right, I'm liking it. I might even have to go there one day. But yeah, so there we go. That's from The Gleaner in Henderson, Kentucky. Good news. Who cares about all that bad stuff? So that's another thing too, is that the reason that I am the media today is because it's kind of like that's kind of, I didn't really do much on my vacation other than kind of sit around and I actually had my phone and I'm scrolling around on it. And, it's just like you're kind of a product of what you stick into your head. So it's like if you're around a bunch of negative people or you're listening to bad news or horrible news all the time, you get all miserable. Like, oh, the world's coming to an end. But if you're hearing about good traffic flow in Henderson, Kentucky, that's not too bad. Hey, things aren't so bad after all. So I want to be the guy that tells you the good news. Leave all the bad news for the people that actually want to get clicks and likes. But I still think there's a segment of people out there that, that half of 1% that would say, I want to hear something good. So there you go, something good for the people of Henderson, Kentucky. All right, so now we're gonna get to the pardon me if I got like a little bit of a cold I'm coming down with. I had some of some of Randy's cough syrup. I still got some left over. It's moonshine basically, but I use it like cough syrup. So I had a little bit of that, and hopefully I can kill my little cold before it starts. Usually Randy's moonshine's pretty good for that. So so we went down to El Salvador about a month ago, and we were there earlier in the year, but that was the dry season. So from about ended say December, January, February, it just does not rain. It just doesn't rain for 3 months, and everything gets all brown and everything. So when we were there before, everything was kind of brown, and it was great weather. It didn't rain for a month. We were down before, so this time we went down, and it was like, okay, the rainy season had just been kind of just about finishing. We wanted to see what it was like in the rainy season, but not the full blown. Like this year, they had like, I think it was 1 week solid of like super rain, washed out roads. It was really bad, but that's unusual for them apparently. And so it was everything's all nice and green and lush. Flowers are all out and stuff like that. So this time of year, it's a nice time of year to go to El Salvador. And so we wanted to see what's the rainy season like here. And you can get it usually it'll be like it'll be rainy at night and kind of clears up during the day. It's kind of off and on. But you'll get like a few times where the sun will come out, or it'll be raining, stop raining enough where you can go get your groceries or do whatever you got to do. So that's kind of cool. It's not brutal rain all the time. So that's the way that works. And so we spent most of our time down there in a town called Berlin. And we were out there for about 3 weeks because we really like that little town. And town, they call themselves a city. It's like 12,000 people. And it's kind of up in this sort of on the top of a dormant volcano, or like on the side of a volcano. And so there's actually a a geothermal plant there that produces electricity from all the volcano energy in the ground, and you see the steam coming off there and powering the turbines, and they make electricity there too. So there's a few engineers around, and a beautiful view there. My last show I did my last show was from there, and you can kind of see out in the background the hills. Very nice scene there. The weather in Berlin is absolutely perfect all year round. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it doesn't, but it's jeans and t-shirt weather all year round. So it's kind of like everybody there just wears jeans and t-shirts. So in the morning, jeans and t-shirts weather. And then in the afternoon, it gets a little bit warmer. So you're wearing your jeans and t-shirt, but you're a little bit warmer. And then the sun kind of starts going down. Now you're back to comfortable jeans and t-shirt weather. And then later on at night, if you're still up, everyone goes to bed really early there. So if you're up by around 9, 10 at night, it's still jeans and t-shirt weather, but it might be a little chilly. So that's the way it goes. So very cool, very agreeable weather. And it's everyone's up at, sun comes up at 6 and it sets at 6 all year round, pretty much, plus or minus 15 minutes. So it's just kind of cool that way. And so we did, just kind of hung out there, didn't do a whole lot. Stayed at this place called The Standard. It's this guy named Tim owns it, and it's almost kind of like, I don't know, it wasn't really a hotel. It wasn't really like a Airbnb. It was kind of, I don't know, you could almost call it like glamping, but you have like your own little apartment kind of thing. And so anyways, I'll do a review for Tim's on The Standard on Google. I told him I'd do that. And so when we'd planned on going there before anyways, and we found out, when was it? Probably about August or September. We heard there was going to be a Bitcoin conference down there. And it's like, well, in Berlin, that's probably the place in the world that uses Bitcoin the most. Like, just you can use it for everything there. There's like 130 businesses that take it. in this little town, and you can just live on Bitcoin if you want to go there. You Google search on the online and stuff, and that's really the only place in the world you can do that. So I think that's kind of neat that they're very forward thinking that way. And I was there before at the Bitcoin Center, and it's kind of like a little educational center, and it's really growing and growing there. The transformation in that town is just like there's people coming from kind of all over the world to see what's going on with all this stuff. Hey, Phil's in here too. Filipino working at CVS. Hi. And yeah, so I went to this Adopting Bitcoin conference. We went there for a couple days. And yeah, I don't know. I'd never really been to any type of conferences too much or anything like that. And just thought, well, I don't know. Everyone else is going, we'll go too. And it was just like, you might learn something, So it was kind of cool to go there. They had a whole bunch of different speakers, and so you kind of got a feel for like what's going on with this Bitcoin thing in El Salvador. Are they it's called Adopting Bitcoin Conference. How many people are actually using this new money? And it's official money for El Salvador, and that's the only country in the world that does that. And I bought some beer with Bitcoin, and the guy gave me a sticker. So I don't know where to put my Bitcoin sticker. If I'll put it over here or something, maybe on the toolbox. But anyways, that's my souvenir from the Bitcoin conference. And but there was an interesting thing about that where I never really thought about it before. I wish I could remember the guy's name. He's like some Bitcoin expert dude from Texas. Or he might be Canadian, but living in Texas, I forget. But he was, we're just kind of walking around. They had some really nice artwork there too, nice art show. And so this guy was talking. There's like a panel of people there talking, and he was talking about how Bitcoin mining, like, a lot of people say, oh, what's this Bitcoin mining stuff? It's evil. It uses up too much electricity. But you can say what you want about it. But this guy was saying how in Texas, I guess, there was a big blackout in Texas a few years ago. So when the blackout happens, it means that there's a whole big draw for whatever reason. There's a big draw on the power grid, and blammo, everything just goes dark. So Texas was thinking like, hey, we don't want this to happen again. So they had a deal with like some great big gigantic Bitcoin mining facility there. Like it uses just gigawatts and gigawatts and gigawatts of power to calculate all these Bitcoin stuff and make Bitcoins. So but the deal was, he said that when this big, huge, massive consumer of electricity, so like the power company down there is making tons of money off of this Bitcoin mining facility. So they like that. And they can use that capacity as kind of like a circuit breaker where a few years ago they had this big draw on the grid, boom, everything blacked out. So they kind of ramped it up, and they said, okay, hey, Bitcoin miner guys, how's this sound? If we notice that we're getting too much draw on the grid, how about you shut your machines down? And they go like, yeah, sure. So we'll do that for a little discount on the electricity. And yeah, sure, works out. And the thing is, so you can have some kind of generating station that's going 24 hours a day, and maybe at night the usage drops off. Well, it's like, okay, well, the Bitcoin miners will take all that. So it's kind of like it sets it up where the generating station is always at 100% capacity because of the Bitcoin miners, and then you can turn them on and off as needed. So say the power spikes for gets really hot, you need a whole bunch of air conditioning, and it's like, oh, we're going to overload the grid. They go, okay, Bitcoin miners, turn it off. So that's actually what they did this year or something. The guy was saying they just boom, shut the facility down, just like turn off the light switch, and the grid had enough capacity for and like no one ever, they didn't have the blackout that they had a couple of years ago because they increased it. They got the funding from the miners, and then the miners are cooperating to be like a circuit breaker for the grid. So it's like, whoa, I never thought about something like that for just like buying stuff with your phone. And that was a cool thing about Berlin, is like you can buy anything you want there with Bitcoin. So they have a couple of hardware stores, grocery stores, coffee shops, restaurants. Went to a lot of restaurants there, or these other little kind of cafeteria kind of places called comedors. and it's like it's kind of like a little cafeteria. It's really pretty cheap. Both of us would eat for around $10 and get like a pretty decent meal for the day. Yeah, and so Bitcoin beep. There you go. It's kind of neat. It's just like paying with like Apple Pay or something. Same type of deal. And yeah, and that's everyone's just used to it there now. It was weird a few months before when we were in Berlin that some of the people were like, what is this Bitcoin stuff? And then they'd have a phone and like, I don't really know. I don't want to do this. But now they got these really slick point of sale systems, and it's just like, oh, you want to pay with Bitcoin? Boom, here you go. Beep, beep, done. And it's just totally normal there to them now, which is weird because you walk around, you see a cow, you walk around and see this horse tied up to a tree with a rope, and so like they're pretty poor there and stuff, but they're also kind of way ahead for the future of what the economy is going to be doing and stuff, and the future of money. Pretty wild, pretty wild. So when we were at Berlin, we're just kind of hanging out there, and we decided that we were going to take the bus back to San Salvador. So I went on I took the chicken bus, as they call it. Last time we were there, it was just kind of like down by the beach area. And it's just this old U.S. American school bus that's been all painted up. They like to paint up their school buses really funky, and then and they charge you money to go on. But we'd never taken it like I guess it'd be kind of the equivalent of like a Greyhound bus kind of thing. But it's weird down there because they're not all, it's still a developing country. So it's like, it's not like there's a website for the bus stop or something like that. But we found out in this little town that you just have to kind of know. Oh, you need a welder? Oh, well, Joe's a welder over there. It's like, oh, you need this? Oh, well, you got to ask this guy. Hey, guy, where can I get that? Oh, from that guy. Like there's no, I don't know. You just got to kind of know what to do. And so you can kind of roughly Google around that said, okay, there's a bus leaving from Berlin to go to San Salvador at, I think it was at 6 in the morning, 1:01, something like that. But I'm like, well, how do you pay? You buy tickets? And they said, oh yeah, just go down the bus stop and hop on the bus. Well, there's 2 bus stops there. Which one are you talking about? The one there or the one there? No, it's the one that goes to, don't get on the one to Alegria, get the one to Mercedes. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But there's no signs or nothing. So it's kind of weird. But we figured out. And then, so we're about to get on the bus. And I'm like it pulls up. And it's like, it kind of I guess you would be, it looked like kind of like a 1985, 1990 Greyhound bus or something like that. No bathroom in the back. But sort of modern-ish looking bus. Seats are pretty tight for someone taller, but still okay. And then, so I asked, like, pagar, okay, I don't know, how do I pay? And then the guy says, oh, you pay this guy. I'm like, oh, okay, but like we just got on the bus and no, before getting any tickets or paying anyone, like, like what do I do? Oh, everybody else is just getting on the bus and sitting down. So then the bus comes off, and I don't know how much it costs or anything. So it's like the bus starts driving away. Hey, we're on a bus. The sign on the front said San Salvador. I guess we're going the right way. And then the guy, he just starts walking down, and everyone's dropping off, giving the guy money. Like, he wasn't even saying anything. They were just, because I guess they knew the drill. It's like, oh yeah, just pay him when he comes by. So I'm like, quanto cuesta, like, well, how much does it cost? And he goes like this. I was like, oh, $5. So it was like $2.50 a person to go, like, it's about a 2.5 hour drive on the bus. It was pretty slow. I don't think the bus ever got up more than 70 kilometers an hour. What's that in miles per hour? 45 miles an hour. Never really got above that because I don't know. It's just twisty, windy roads and lots of traffic and slow trucks, and you got to slow down to go into little villages. So anyways, it was like $2.50 each to get from Berlin to San Salvador, which it was like, that's pretty cheap. And then from the bus terminal there, we had to take an Uber to go to where Airbnb basically was. So, anyways, that was kind of interesting. Now I know how to take the bus, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so getting back to that conference thing there too. Um, also found out there that how much education is going on in El Salvador now, where they're teaching. They're teaching like basically every kid that goes through the school system is going to know what Bitcoin is. That's like millions of kids. And then they already trained like 80,000 civil servants. Like, hey, this is what you do. This is how this Bitcoin stuff works. It's El Salvador money. Well, it actually doesn't belong to any country. It's like gold, but technical gold. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. But so yeah, that adopting Bitcoin conference was really, really pretty interesting. And yeah, I don't know. That was about it. Then we went kind of chilled out in San Salvador for a bit more. Went to this place called Garage Burger. Ooh, they got some good burgers at Garage Burger in San Benito. That's kind of the ritzy place. Oh yeah, and then the other place we went there, we found out we never. There's a couple malls. There was a Cascadas Mall and Multiplex Mall, and we thought, hey, let's walk to the mall. It's about, I don't know, from where we were staying, maybe 40 minutes. And those malls were like you'd swear you're in like Los Angeles or something like that. It's just like all nice and shiny and clean, and all these American stores, and they have a Sears there at the Cascadas Mall. It's like Sears is still open there. It didn't go out of business. I don't know how that works. And I've also heard that they have Radio Shack down there too, because I know we had a power bar in our yeah, I saw another guy. He had a webcam. That was it. And it said Radio Shack on the webcam. So it was like, yeah, they still have Radio Shack and Sears down there. So although the Sears sign wasn't blue, it was red. I don't know. And we didn't actually go into the Sears, but saw it. I was like, wow, Sears, cool. And yeah, we got great malls down there. And that would be Santa Tecla, which is like, it's right. It's all kind of attached to San Salvador. San Benito, Santa Tecla, Ilopango. They're all kind of like, I guess it'd be like a suburb, something like that. But yeah, really nice there. And palm trees, great weather. Had a little bit of rain near the end. Then we hopped on a plane, went back to Toronto, and took the train back here to Windsor. So there we go. Back in my basement, telling all the good news because I am the media. And yeah, so that was about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually kind of happy I didn't start coming down with this cold when I was down there. But all right, that is about it. So I'll be back in, like I was mentioning before, come here Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern, and you'll be getting some good news every single time you turn on the show from now on. It might be from Henderson, Kentucky, like today with their brand new fast, speedy roundabouts, or I'm just going to find some other little random town and see what's going on there. No obituaries, no politics, no religion, no skin pigmentation or genitalia. That's kind of the rules. Just happy news about people getting home from work early. So there we go. And all right, we'll see if we got any little comments here. I know Wrench, Wrench is usually in here. He left a comment on my other video, and so it's nice you guys were thinking about me here. Let's see what else we got here. Here we go. Shecky says, think positive, be positive. Yeah, if you sit around just being miserable all day, watching miserable TV, listening to the news, the whole world is ending. Oh, I'm miserable. But if you come here and you hear good news, hey, there you go. You're going to be a lot happier. And yes, Shecky, it was great weather. And that was another thing, too, how I'm pulling up these little comments over here. I never watched this show ever before on a smart TV. Like, I don't even have a TV here. So there's a couple of smart TVs wherever we were staying. There's a smart TV. I'm not really a huge fan, but I was like watching YouTube on it. And so on the smart TV, it doesn't show all the comments and stuff like that. And so I could see why pulling up these little things from StreamYard, all the little comments, that helps out for the people on the smart TVs. So that's kind of cool. That's something else I learned. And what else here? Good old Filipino working at CVS. From my basement to yours. Hashtag no sun. Yep. What do we got here? Oh, what's this here? As a hold on for dear life for learning about the other end of the equation, spending is very interesting to me. Oh, so good old Phil works at CVS and holds on to his Bitcoin. That's cool. Oh, well, it's just another currency. It's like euros or yen or US dollars. It's just a little more volatile, and sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. That's the way it goes. But if you don't have a bank account and you want to transfer funds, it's a fantastic way to do it. So I could see, like in El Salvador, there's a lot of people there that get remittance checks, as they say, from back when El Salvador had a lot more crime and war and everything. It was pretty rough there for them. I think it was like a couple million people left the country or something like that. It's like a third of the people, just like, a lot of them went up to the States and stuff like that. But so they're working in, somewhere else, and then they send money back to the people in El Salvador. So if you're sending money through Western Union, there's like, I don't know, they take a pretty huge cut on the percentage of the money that you're sending back to like El Salvador or something. But if it was Bitcoin, you could just send it. Boom. No fee, no nothing. So that could be handy in the future to get more money into the country rather than going off to Western Union to help out those guys. So very interesting. But yeah, it's just money, dude. So what else we got here? Oh yeah, so Shecky was happy I had a nice vacation, and internet friends care and do like to hear about your travels. Cool, huh? Yeah, that's kind of neat. It's like, yeah, I'm used to you guys showing up. So it's kind of neat. That's why I do it, really. And okay, so there you go. Got through some comments, and like and subscribe, all that other fun stuff. And yeah, like I said before, going to be starting off every single show with some good news from now on. Might be good airplane news, might be from a little town, but always start off on a positive note. Oh, geez. And here's the safety dog popping in at the very end just to say hello. So, hello, David. But I'm going, man. So, anyways, that's cool. Yeah. And yes, that's about it. Okay, what day is today? Today is Friday. So there we go. I'll be back with the good news on Monday, because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. No more slacking off time off. And yeah, I guess we'll just kind of shut her down. So thank you for watching. Bye.